Right, welcome to 2024. Welcome to yet another video, and today's video is very interesting because this topic, it came to my attention. I haven't talked about it, so this is the right time to talk about it. All right, I am going to be based on the car that I have used, and I think I'll have to say for the amount of time I've owned these cars, I think it's put me in a better position to give you a feedback on the reliability of those cars. Now, when it comes to keeping your car healthy, keeping your car in the long term, if you follow their manufacturer recommendation of doing your regular maintenance. Now, when I say about maintenance, I'm not just talking about your regular oil change. Yes, the regular oil change matter. You really have to do the regular change. It doesn't hurt if you want to do oil change every 5,000 kilometers or every 5,000 miles. It doesn't hurt at all. Even if they say you have to drive 10,000 miles, it doesn't even matter if it doesn't hurt if you do it every 2,000, every 3,000. It doesn't matter. You know why? Because you want to keep your engine healthy. The longer you wait, the more you will cause the wear and tear of your engine, and that will cause something in your engine to go bad. Now, yes, I will understand that certain components are not built to withstand a certain payload. And when I say payload, like how much of work are you putting into the car, or how are you using the car, to which extreme are you pushing the car, so that you can say, okay, this car can go up to this limit, and then things start breaking. I'll give you an example. I've heard a lot of people saying, oh, the charge pipe breaks a lot on N20 engines. If I have to be honest with you guys, I've owned two cars, the N20 228i, which I have currently, and the N20 328i. Believe you not, I have never cracked my charge pipe. Why? Well, it's about how I use the car, right? It's really about how I use the car. Those components never crack, but you will hear other people, they will tell you those things crack. Why? How are they using the car? I have to be honest with you. I know there is a lot are going to happen in my comments, but I have to tell you, this has never happened to me because I have used the car on a regular manner where I need to use the car. Now, if you are the person who say, oh, this car are not strong, this car break, this part break, ask yourself a question, how are you using the car? Yes, sometimes we can blame certain components to the manufacturer that, oh, they didn't build this thing stronger, they didn't be, and that's why they have a higher platforms. So if you want to use something that wants you to last longer, what you have to do, you buy the higher trim. And if you want something that, let's say, a street car, or something that you'll be racing every weekend, like every weekend you take the car to the track and you're expecting something such as an N20 engine, and you expect that to work to a certain payload that you're going to put it every time you go to the track, and then when something cracked, you say this car are not reliable, this car are not good. But how are you using the car? And that's why when someone tells me how reliable is this and that, I always say it's always about who is using the car, what application you are using the car for. For example, I recently had an issue with the inlet pipe. The inlet pipe really just cracked, and I was losing boost. I had this very, very bad boost leak. Now, how did it happen? I know it happened because I was really pushing the car to the limit, and we know with the plastic components that has the engine, it couldn't withstand the amount of workload that I was putting into the engine. The stress was too much, then it gave up. Am I gonna blame the engine? Certainly not. But did it happen? Yeah, it happened. So it's really up to you. You gotta ask yourself, what are you going to use the engine for, and and how do you want to keep it reliable? Now, I am someone who modified a car. I started modifying cars way before starting making YouTube videos because I was not someone who can really stand in front of the camera and start talking to you guys. But when I got that confidence, I started documenting stuff that I'm doing on the cars and stuff like that. BMW engine, the N20 themselves, if you are just someone who would drive the car like your grandma or your grandpa, the car will last you long, to be honest with you. Assuming that you have had the car with 100,000 miles on it and nothing have cracked, and you bought the car at 100,000, you did whatever you did with the car within the 20 miles when you bought the car, and something braked, and you blaming that the car is not strong. So assuming that 100,000 miles, how long did it take? So assuming it's a normal driving, that about, I would say 5 years. And it's rare someone will just keep a car for more than 5 years. So you can still replace the OEM parts if you are going to use the car on the same application as the car was designed to be used for. So if you are using the car not the way it was designed for, definitely you have to be prepared on what will come after and what you can expect when things start breaking. Overall, with my experience, those 4 cylinders and 3 cylinders engine, they are okay. They don't have any flaw on it, to be honest with you. They don't have any flaw. You can even put in a boot mode 3 with stage 1 with no bolt-on modification. That car will still last you for long. I kid you not, without changing the charge pipe, without changing the intercooler, without changing anything, just your bone stock car, put on your stage 1 boot mode 3, you will be well off, or even MHD stage 1, you will be well off, and the car will just be fine as long as you use it within the application that it was designed for. Now, the moment you start modifying your car, the moment you start attaching any bolt modification to your drivetrain and powertrain, you have to be prepared on the outcome. I modified cars, and I have to say, you can either make it worse or better. You will think that you made it better, but believe me, you are just hurting one part of the car in one way or another. I am not going to tell you that it will degrade to, like, let's say 50%, and then the car just breaks down and you won't drive it anymore. But I have to say, there is a certain response that you will get when you start modifying either a drivetrain or a powertrain component. I have experience with that, and I'm telling you, there will be a change. And that change, it's up to you how you receive it. You can either put a smile on you because you did a certain modification, or you can put a different type of reaction because you did that modification. I am not telling you that if you buy this part will give you bad response, or you buy that part will give you a better response. I've modified cars, and there are always pros and cons. But we know that when we modify our cars, we do them for the best. And when we do them for the best, we always have to be mindful that whatever it's there, it's being done for a purpose. And whether it breaks or it works better, that's good. When it's come to keeping your car reliable, as long as you do your maintenance, and when I say about maintenance, you really have to look at on the car. When you're driving the car, you own the car, you definitely will feel if something is not right. And it starts very small, and when it starts small, it starts growing, and then it becomes a major issue. And when that appears, which means a lot of things have already failed, and that caused everything just to go extinct and end of life. And that's where you will start complaining, this car not strong, this car is this car is that. Overall, any car, I always say, any car since the year 2000 up to now, to be honest with you, the cars have been just holding very strong. There is a reason manufacturers build higher trims, because they know if someone want to go to higher trims, you have to spend money to go to that level. Or you have to do some other directions, as we do. We modify cars because we are enthusiasts. We want to see how far we can go to those levels. But then when we do that, we always have to be mindful. We're going for the better or the worse. And your modified engine will never be as stock as, and your modified engine will never be the same as your OEM or your bone stock engine. That's not even in the equation. I don't care what people will say, but your modified engine will never be as reliable as your OEM engine.